Hello everybody, Sagayote here, and welcome to my old rattled brain trying to remember what I read in One Piece 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. Because okay, so here's how my mind works. I decided I wanted to, live, so I decided to do a bucket list, and I had the top three, big three, the fantastic three, amazing three, whatever you want to call it, One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto on there. And I was panicking because I'm like, man, I'm getting old. I want to start doing stuff. I want to live, damn it. So I'm going to read one of the mangas. And for some reason, I decided to read the one that wasn't finished and was the biggest. I'm not quite sure why, but I did. And I also figured I can knock all three out within 3 months. And this was incorrect. Now, I did manage to read One Piece in a month, and this was way back when it was 900 and something chapters. Like I said, I went through the whole thing at the time, got up through Whole Cake Island, finished it, and I was burned out. I was a husk of a man. I needed a break. I'm like, I'll just take a little break, and then I'll catch up with the other ones. 4 years later, and I haven't read them. I still need to read them, so I'm going to start reading One Piece again. It's just I don't really remember what happened, or at least I don't think I remember what happens. But it's more of an experiment to see how much I remember each of these arcs. Like how much do they stand out in my memory? And so yeah, so this is One Piece, ranked 4 years later. I'll figure out a title later. Okay, so first we're starting out with Romance Dawn, and this is an S because I remembered almost the entire thing. From Luffy cutting his eye, to Shanks's cap, to meeting Zoro, to being kind of confused because of how quickly Zoro and Luffy just kind of like they're friends and that's it. Like there was very little discussion on it. Orange Town was pretty fun, but I think this is more in the B category or A. I don't know because like again Zoro was kind of MVP in there. And I did like Nami. Like I liked Nami more in this arc than when she had her like Arlong Park arc. So let's say this is A. No, this is S because of that dog that got punched. No, that Luffy punched a lion because of that dog that was trying to guard his home. His what was left his last treasure from his owner who passed away. Syrup Village, the boy who cried wolf, right? And I mean, it's passable. It has some fun. Well, I'm gonna say this is an A, not because like Usopp's introduction was super strong, or the villains were super great, but it's A just because when Luffy got accidentally hypnotized by that guy who looks like Michael Jackson, and Luffy became super strong. Barate is an S just because I love the way Sanji showed up. I love the way that it showed that Luffy does not hesitate. I love the Baratie as a restaurant. Sanji's backstory throughout this whole thing is probably the saddest. I know some people say it's Robin because well she's been running all her life, but Sanji was basically born and they told him he's a failure, so he's an S. Arlon Park, I want to put this in D. Just because I never once believed Nami was a villain. I mean, granted, like I was reading it after seeing like images, even not without knowing the whole story, like years later. But it's just I never really believed she was a villain. So it was like I don't know. But then like the fights between Luffy and Arlong and how Luffy just got so mad because no, you don't own anybody, and then there was some subtext with the fishman that was really interesting. I'll put it B. Logtown introduced Smoker, and you also. I think this is one of the most we've seen of Luffy's dad since his introduction, and it was nice to see Buggy come back. This is a B. This is a strong B. Reverse Mountain is a. I'm gonna give it a B too. I love the whale. I can't remember much more about him. I mean, I know you met Croaker. I know you learned about why the compasses that they get is, special. But there wasn't really a fight scene. But you know what? It didn't need a fight scene. It didn't need like a big fight scene. B. C. It's C. It's cute, but it's still a C. Whiskey Pete. How do I feel about Whiskey Pete? You know, it was fun seeing Zoro go ham on all those assassins, so that would make it A. But the fight between Luffy and Zoro just felt so forced, so that would make it a C. But I like the idea of how they were going about capturing pirates, so B. Little Garden, just because I liked it so much, and I thought I did get teary-eyed when, one giant, I'm terrible with names, his innards were blown up and he lost to the other giant, and they were both just crying. And then there was the scene where Zoro, he tried to take a cool pose, and yeah, A. It's not quite up to here too. In fact, you know what? Oh, I kind of want to move Orangetown to A too, but no, I put it there, so it's there. Drum Island. How do I feel about Drum Island? Well, it was kind of. It did mess a little bit with. It felt so random that Nami was sick. Like it felt so forced. But I mean, I loved seeing Chopper. I loved his backstory. Of course, One Piece. All the backstories are gonna be pretty great. Except Usopp. I don't think Usopp's backstory is that good. Basically, Usopp is just, hey, my dad abandoned me, but that's cool. A. Of course, Alabasta is an S. It was action-packed. Crocodile is probably one of my favorite villains so far. He kept winning. There was one thing after another. I love the way that everybody separated to pull off their own things. You got to see Bon Clay, Bon Chan. Oh, what's his name? Bon. The guy with the flamingo. Like, he was so likable when he came out here too. Yeah, that's an S. Jaya. I just remember Jaya because I know that this guy was accused. I'm not putting it there. I know this guy was accused of being a liar, right? But I think the thing I remember from Jaya the most is that Blackbeard, when he was first introduced, was very, very likable. Very likable. And it was also cool to see Luffy just say, no, nobody raise your hand, just let him beat us up. There were some good scenes. Skypiea, I want to put this at S just because the fight between Enel, the lightning guy, and Luffy was so great. But honestly, aside from that, and a few glimpses of the world and those dials and stuff, I can't really remember it, so I'm going to say it's B. Long Ring, Long Road, it kind of felt like it was none needed, but then there was some real drama towards the end where Luffy, because he kept getting knocked down. Like, he did get knocked down a lot. And then you got to see Aikiji just kind of like decimate Luffy. But then you think, well, this whole thing was pointless because Luffy's pride was just enough. Water 7. You know what? The thing about Water 7, and I know this sounds crappy, is I cannot remember too much of it. And the reason why is because... Wait, what was... This is where... What happened in Water 7? I just remember Usopp getting beat up, meeting Frankie. I'm going to put it at C, not because it's bad. Like, I remember reading Water 7 and liking it a lot. I know that it was very enjoyable. But I think the problem with Water 7 is it came right before Ines Lobby, which had the best fight scenes, I would argue, in the whole series. It had my favorite 2 moments in the whole series outside of fights, where it was Robin saying that she wanted to live and the Going Merry saving them. So that's an S. Post Ines Lobby arc was... I mean, you got to meet Grandpa. You got to see them reminisce. It was solid. It was a B. Thriller Bark was just, it bled Halloween, and just for the fact that it bled Halloween, and you got to see Ghost and Souls, and you got to meet Brooke and see samurai fighting, and you got to see Luffy push down a zombie, like he just pushes it down, like you just go back in. That's an A. Sabanuni Archipelago. What happened there? I remember Luffy punched somebody and it felt amazing, and then you realize that Luffy screwed up so badly, and it was pretty tense. So yeah, that's an A. Amazon Lily was okay. It was Luffy winning over Boa Hancock. I think that was the first real solid evidence you got of hockey, armament hockey, and you learned a little bit about the Celestial Dragon. So I'll put this as an A. Impel Down is Dante's Inferno in the One Piece world, and it's amazing, and it's easily S. Marineford, Captain Whitebeard, Blackbeard's betrayal, the battle at Marineford, just everybody pushing and pushing, and it's easily an S. Post-war, it was so strong. It kind of hurt just because you never see Luffy breaking like that. And I mean, yeah, he did manage to get himself back together and push on and say, no, we're going to spend some time to train, which I thought was really cool. But again, it hit because you don't see Luffy broken. Return to Sabaody was, classic post time skip. But what puts it as A is just the fact that there was like the pretenders, the fake One Piece crew, Straw Hat crew, and that was pretty fun. Fishman Island, more racial tension, the pain of the fishmen. Hoity Jones and steroids. There's steroids in every manga, isn't there? I haven't seen the anime, to be honest. But it's just anime is easier to say for me. This is a solid A. Punk Hazard was pretty fun. I'll give this one a B. It was a fire and ice land, and everybody got their body swapped. So C. Dressrosa, I'm kind of honestly a bit split on Dressrosa. Was it a great arc? I don't know. Because the thing with Dressrosa is, and this could be too that I was just getting tired. It felt long. It felt so long. It had all the little moments I can remember are really great. Doflamingo's backstory, that girl who turned people into toys, the gladiatorial arena, Sabo's return, the fight, Gear Forth, but it just felt like, I don't know, there was something wrong with the pacing. It was exhausting, so I'm putting this B. Zoe, I mean, it was cool. It felt short. Like Zoe was the exact opposite. Well, not the exact opposite, because I liked a lot of scenes in Zoe. The cat and dog fighting night and day. The elephant finally getting permission to defend itself was pretty cool. The Minx, learning about the Minx, like there's so much, like the One Piece world is insane. So this is a B. Whole Cake Island, and again, like I just love the way that Sanji is. I loved meeting Big Mom. The world that was kind of like I want to say Alice in Wonderland type situation. Big Mom being basically a kaiju. The fight with the Mirror World with Katakuri. Luffy almost ripping his arms off because Sanji was in danger, despite the fact that Sanji beat the hell out of him. And I didn't really read any Marine Reverie or Wano, but like I said, I stopped after Whole Cake Island. So yeah, this was my review of One Piece. Not review, ranked One Piece 4 years later. And yeah, it's hard to not. I'm looking at them. So like some of them should I move, but no, I think that was a feeling that came to mind when I read them, the arc titles. And who knows, maybe like when I finish catching up with One Piece, I'll do this again, and it won't be as good, or there'll be more B's or more A's, or maybe even some D's. I feel like something should be a D. What one thing should be a D? Which one could be a D? Um, would I be sacrilegious if I put Water 7 as a D? Just because I don't remember too much of it. No, I don't remember a lot of Jaya, but no, it's all so good. Nothing in One Piece deserves a D. Anyways, this is Saga Yote signing out. You guys have a good one. Bye.